Alright everybody, good evening and welcome into this new More Weather Forecast video. It's been a couple of weeks, but we've got a very significant stretch of severe weather coming up that I really did want to highlight here. And we're first starting out with tonight. We've got storms already across parts of the plains. So let's get straight into it. Looking at the tornado watches, we have an effect right there into northeastern Colorado there, southwestern Nebraska, and into northwestern Kansas. As you can see, this is going to be expiring at 10 p.m. Central Time, but a few tornadoes are likely, so we're going to have to watch that. Yuma, Goodland, Kansas, Yuma, Colorado, those are two areas to watch. If you're in those areas right now, we've already seen that storm initiation. Continue to stay weather-aware here over the next few hours. Now, looking at our second tornado watch in effect right now, this is a little bit farther to the south, so into southwestern Kansas, into the panhandles of Texas and Oklahoma, and into southeastern Colorado, including Lamar, Colorado, Garden City, Kansas, into Guymon, Oklahoma. Those are all areas where you also do need to be weather aware, as we do have that tornado watch in effect until midnight. A couple strong tornadoes possible, so this is we're watching for those strong tornadoes as well. Again, you just saw that other one. This one is just a bit to the south, so you really do want to be prepared if you're in any tornado watch right now, and any that get issued here in the coming hours as we see those storms across parts of Colorado, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, and into Nebraska, southern South Dakota there as well. But this is the start of that stretch. We have that bimodal enhanced risk for tonight's severe weather threat that has already started. And then we're going into tomorrow, into Saturday, and into Sunday, and watching all those days, 3 days of significant severe storms that are going to be possible. And let's get into tomorrow's outlook. So this is for tomorrow. On Friday, we do that enhanced risk, 3 out of 5 risk, including Omaha, Nebraska, just on the edge of Des Moines, as well as Kansas City. So some pretty big population centers in there. So from Kansas City up towards Omaha, along that Missouri River Valley, that's where we're really watching for our elevated storm threat. And even in that slight risk, that 2 out of 5 to the west of St. Louis, down towards Springfield, Missouri, into Arkansas, even up down towards Dallas and Tyler, Texas, we have that as well. But this is really the area we're watching. Still need to be prepared if you're in the slight risk area as well. Now, our severe potential for tomorrow, that tornado threat, it is elevated. We could have a strong tornado or two possible tomorrow, especially in that elevated area, in that enhanced risk area there, into parts of eastern Nebraska, Iowa, and into northwestern Missouri. Damaging wind threat, very high. We're watching damaging winds, as this is expected to be more of a cluster or a line of storms moving through, carrying, again, that high damaging wind threat. And then hail is going to be definitely something to watch out for as well. So make sure you put your cars in your garage, carport, put it in a parking garage if you can, because these could be some pretty significant hailstorms. And then flooding is low, but that's a pretty significant severe weather day tomorrow. So if you're in that enhanced risk, even in that slight risk, make sure you're prepared for all of these threats. Now, looking at that severe risk timeline for Omaha, moving into tomorrow afternoon, that's when it's going to start ramping up. Really getting into the 4 to 6, and then in 6 to 8 hour, that time frame right there, that's when you want to be most prepared, most weather aware, because that's when we're expecting those storms to move in tomorrow. So you want to be tuning into the radar, tuning into your local NWS, tuning into your local meteorologist, so you are definitely prepared for that. Again, this is Omaha tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow early evening, stretching on into the late evening, and then falling out as we go into the overnight hours. That's when that should move to your east, but especially there, 4 to 6, 6 to 8, that's when you want to be very weather aware tomorrow in Omaha. Again, large hail, damaging winds, possibly significant damaging winds, and a couple strong tornadoes are possible. So make sure you are very weather aware tomorrow if you're in Omaha and in the surrounding areas. Now, we're also talking about a severe weather threat on Saturday, and this one has been looking significant for a couple of days. So some cities in that threat include Topeka, Wichita, over towards Oklahoma City there as well, Norman area, so Oklahoma City down towards Norman, and there to the northwest of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so a pretty large enhanced risk Wouldn't be surprised if we get this upgraded there to maybe a moderate, but we'll see. For right now, it's a 3 out of 5, which is still a significant risk. And then that slight risk, 2 out of 5, where you still do need to be prepared for some storms, is one of the largest or maybe longest I've ever seen here from the border of Mexico almost to the border of, basically there to the border of Canada. So that is a very, very long slight risk, but that especially area where we need to be prepared is in that enhanced risk 3 out of 5 zone. Now, severe potential for Saturday. This is very heightened. As you can see, tornado threat, something to really watch up through Oklahoma City, even up towards Kansas City there as well. From the Oklahoma City area over towards Wichita, Topeka, I think that's where our tornado threat could be the highest. Damaging winds are going to be something to watch out as well. Not our highest threat, though. Hail definitely going to be one of our biggest threats on Saturday, as these storms are expected to be supercellular type storms, which are storms that carry hail, and also that tornado threat. That's why I have that at a moderate. And then flooding, also something to really watch for as well, as we get that training of rain and storms through Oklahoma, but really into Oklahoma, up through Kansas there as well, really centered around Oklahoma City over towards Tulsa. You need to be prepared for some flash flooding and all these severe threats as well if you're in that enhanced risk area. And also make sure you're on guard for that if you're anywhere in the slight risk area. Now, timing this out for the Oklahoma City, OKC area, this is going to be a very long duration severe weather event, it's looking like. So going into the early afternoon, that's when we're going to watch maybe some storm initiation, but really when we're watching for the greatest threat for severe storms in the Oklahoma City area, down towards Norman there as well, it's going to be similar to what we're seeing with Omaha tomorrow, except this will be on Saturday. This is not going to be tomorrow, this is going to be on Saturday. Into Oklahoma City, 4 to 6, 6 to 8, that's when we're watching that corridor for maybe our best chance for severe storms. Now, this can change just a little bit since we are a couple days out here, really 2 days, but you get the point here. We still need to watch this area going into the late afternoon, into the evening, late evening there as well, and kind of trickling off as we go into the overnight hours. But definitely, if you're in OKC, Saturday going to be a day to really be weather aware. Make sure you're staying tuned to the radar, staying tuned to your local National Weather Service, and your favorite weather provider, local meteorologist, are usually a good bet for severe weather coverage. So again, moving into the afternoon, into the evening, and then moving through the late evening, trickling off as you go into the late overnight hours. And then our last risk area we're looking at for right now is going to be on Sunday, and this is where the Storm Prediction Center has highlighted in advance an area to watch for severe storms on Sunday. Now, there's some uncertainty. Is this going to be very significant? For right now, it's not looking too significant, but there's the possibility for storms, and that's why the Storm Prediction Center has highlighted this area from southern Wisconsin all the way to the DFW Metroplex through St. Louis over towards Kansas City as well. So if you're in St. Louis, Kansas City, maybe down towards Dallas, Little Rock there as well, even up towards Chicago maybe there as well, we're going to be having to watch for some severe storms on Sunday. And for right now, that does look like more of a damaging wind threat for sure. That's what I have as our highest threat right now. Now, these threats can change since we are a couple days out, but we still do need to watch that damaging wind threat for sure. That does for now look like the highest threat, and I wouldn't be surprised if it continues to look like that. Flooding is at a moderate. Tornado threat low for now, since again this is not looking like a significant severe weather day, which usually means we're not going to have many tornadoes, and that's what I'm thinking right now. That could change, but in my opinion, I don't think that's going to change too much. I think really what we're going to be having to watch for is lines or clusters of storms through Kansas City over towards St. Louis, down into Arkansas, and maybe up into Illinois there as well, and Iowa there. And then that hail threat is low as well. So Sunday, still some uncertainty. Things will change, but we're mainly watching for that damaging wind threat that does look like it's going to be the highest threat. Now, finishing off the video here, again, we got 3 days of severe weather if you're not counting tonight, and you want to know where to go when a tornado warning is in effect for your area. Definitely do not want to be upstairs, and if you don't have a basement, be in an interior room. An interior room gets as many layers between you and the outside outside world as possible. So you want to be in an interior room on the lowest level of your home. And if you have a basement, that is your best bet, and a tornado shelter is even better. A tornado shelter is a great way to be prepared for tornadoes, to be prepared during that tornado warning. But if you don't have that, if you have a basement, that's great as well. Make sure your interior room in that basement. If you don't have that, make sure you are interior room on your first floor so you can survive if a tornado were to touch down inside of that tornado warning. And then again, like we were just looking at, some of these storm timings are going to be encroaching on the evening hours, encroaching on the darkness hours when it gets dark out, when you're going to sleep, and you want to have a way to be woken up if a tornado warning is issued for your location. Weather radio, cell phone, that is a really good options to have nearby. And then again, as you can see right here, reading these outdoor warning sirens are not meant to wake you up. Make sure you have a good sturdy set of shoes or boots. If the worst happens and that tornado hits your house, you do want to be able to have those shoes so you could walk over debris if, of course, God forbid, that were to happen. But again, you want to be prepared because a lot of these severe weather threats coming up may be going into the nighttime hours for your location, maybe when you're going to sleep. So you want to be woken up and prepared if that were to happen. Now that about wraps up this more weather forecast video. Make sure you subscribe. Go follow me on X for more details, especially in the Sunday, and a couple more details as we get closer to Saturday. I hope this provided a lot more details on what we're expecting. Be prepared tonight, tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday for those severe storms. As always, stay prepared out there, especially during this big, significant stretch of severe weather. And I will see you soon with more weather.